and affiliation, just so Kevin can start to get an idea of who's asking questions.
We talked to you after the game Saturday about the play calling. How much of a challenge has it been for you to indoctrinate what you have done throughout your career and also fit it into this offense and this playbook? And I mean, how much of a challenge is that?
I wouldn't say it's a challenge. I mean, you're to me, you're always evolving to what your players can and can't do. And been at places where there's different styles of quarterback, there's different styles of offensive line, there's times when you have a running quarterback you don't, or there's times where you don't have good pass blocking but you still have to throw it. So to me, it's the ability to adapt and adjust. And I would say for the most part, as far as just trying to fit in, I think it's been okay. At the end of the day, I think I just got to do a better job of piecing it together, anticipating in some practice things to get us in rhythm and what we're going to emphasize, and gain some confidence and gain some momentum and efficiency as an offense instead of being all over the place right now. I think so far I've been a little all over, and just kind of that's why we came in on Sunday and then Monday. What's the direction? Not play calls or plays, but what are you trying to be, where you're hanging your hat so you can be aggressive and be assertive and play aggressive football.
You and the quarterback are the two that people always look at when things aren't going great. How would you say JT, having had time to review how he played on Saturday, how has he played and how is he doing this week in terms of getting over it?
Yeah, to me, he's always been a great practice player in my time around him. He's been very businesslike, like he's always been. Bottom line, it's my responsibility to put it together and to structure practice and then get the flow of the game to give him a chance, and the surrounding pieces. That line's got to, get the run game going where there's balance. They got to protect receivers and spacing out rhythm. So he's going to look good in the day when we, starting with me, do the job and get it going. And that's every quarterback. They get all the credit, they get all the blame. You've heard those lines. That is true. But he's not a one-man guy. I mean, he is a phenomenal manager, and it's my job to get us in position where he can be the player he is. And we're going to work hard to get it back on track, and we'll see how it goes this week and how it moves forward.
Third row left, Dan.
Dan Hope, 11 Warriors. We hear so much about Army's triple option offense, but how do they stand out defensively? What are the things they do schematically or personnel-wise that can challenge you guys?
They're very similar to several academies, and like Coach Grove did years ago at Ohio U. So they're a wishbone-oriented attack, and then they come out with an odd three-man front. Of course, Oklahoma did that last week primarily. So there's a lot of things that we saw last week that we're probably going to see again. They have their style, their adjustments. Last week they had 40 plays on defense for the game. So a part of their defense is the way the team functions together. On the punt team, they'll snap the ball with 1 or 2 seconds. They try to shorten the game. It's always running plays where the clock's always running. If you don't execute on offense and you don't shut them down defensively, you can play a quarter and have one drive. So like say last week, Buffalo had 40 snaps. Well, that's their team and how they put it all together. So they play a slow game. If we don't execute offensively, you can make it look real ugly, because you can get, like Bill was saying, we can get out of rhythm real quick and sit over there and get cold and stale. So what do we do offensively to keep the ball, execute, get momentum? Defensively, they're an odd front. A lot of those edge pressures like we saw last week, we've worked hard to address it, and I'm sure we'll get a lot of the same looks that we saw from last week, plus their style of how they play.
Also, you said JT is a great practice player. What are the things he does in practice that makes him stand out in comparison to Joe and Dwayne and Tate?
The two best practice players offensively consistently are he and Billy Price. And his old guys, they have phenomenal talent, but their ability to just focus on fundamentals. And there'll be a play in practice that is a simple handoff play, but you'll see JT tuck his hands, express it for 5 to 6 to 7 steps to carry out a fake, where a lot of guys hand off and watch. You'll see him when he takes his drops, he's really working on footwork. So he's a guy that has great concentration on trying to work on getting better. And to me, that's why I think he's a very driven, passionate guy. He's got high goals and standards. I know he's disappointed the way he played. I know I and his surrounding teammates got to help him. He's going to work hard, but he's just a great practice player because of attention to detail. Billy Price is also outstanding in that way.
Second row left, Tim.
Tim Moody from Buckeyes Sports Bulletin. When you have a kid like Dwayne Haskins, who I'm sure just as an athlete, he would like to be the starting quarterback, just like Tate would probably like to be the starting quarterback. So when Dwayne is probably going on Twitter and seeing a lot of fans saying he should be the starter.
The kids go on Twitter?
Okay. How do you approach your conversations with him, knowing that he's seeing that and he has to come into work every day?
Again, everyone has opinions. In a day, it's one, his opinion of himself, but two, really the coaches and his teammates' opinion. What, again, like, you know, I saw him the last couple of days continue to practice at a high level. And to me, in this day of selfishness, when you have a really good team and you have really good leaders, they set the tone and the young players follow. And I think the way all of us kind of own offensively, that we laid an egg as coaches, we didn't get them ready to play. Our guys didn't play well. I think our players own some of that themselves. They know that. I know JT's taking ownership of things he could do better. I know I am. I know as coaches we all are. And I think you got a guy like Dwayne who's sitting there watching that, and I see him working hard. And to me, that's the response you want. So no matter what you read on Twitter and what you scroll up and down with your thumb seeing is how you go out and work. And he's had a great week of practice. And to me, when you're a young player, that's what you do. You control what you control. You worry about what you need to worry about, and that's getting better. And I'm seeing him practice well, and that's a great sign to me.
Far left, Lori.
Kind of Lori Schmidt, 97.1 The Fan, kind of jumping off that question. You talk about tuning out the noise. How much harder is that to do when some of that noise is coming from, say, former players or even potential future Buckeyes?
To me, when you sign up for this place, it just comes with the territory. And, you know, you've got, whether you're a freshman and you're 17, 18, or 19, you know, you're held to a standard where you got to basically act like a professional athlete with your comments, your lifestyle, and things like that. So to me, it just comes with the territory. Our guys know it. It's big boy football. And I think the kids, I mean, Coach does a great job of teaching our guys for them to understand that. Again, it comes back to being a great teammate, working hard, doing what you can to help the team. No one's bigger than the team. We all take ownership of what we do. And like I say, you know, internally, there's a lot of, you know, we just got to get our offensive rhythm back, and that starts with me. And internally, there's still, I think, a good vibe with our offensive players. I don't think there's a lot of wondering or talk. I think the kids are working really hard.
I know you were asked this in the preseason, but now that you're a couple weeks in, how similar would you say what Ohio State wants to do with the football is with what you were doing at Indiana?
Well, again, you know, it's not what Indiana. It's just you know, you're doing what you can to score as many points as you can, be very, very sound, taking care of the football, taking care of the quarterback. But to be as balanced as you can. To me, balanced isn't always necessarily 50-50, but when you got to run it, you can. When you need to throw it, you can, whether it be down and distance, game situations, field situations, whatever. And really good teams light it up and score. And over the years, some teams I've been a part of have done that. Right now, we're not doing it at the clip we need to, and that falls on me, and we're looking to get it together, light the board up again as best we can, one possession at a time.
Front row left, Bill.
Bill Landis from Cleveland.com. There seemed to be some pretty decent optimism about the tight end position in the spring and then in training camp. And then I think Marcus might have been the only one who played against Oklahoma, at least got snaps at tight end. How would you assess the depth you have there now? What do guys like Luke and Jake and Rashad have to do to be, you know, productive players for you guys at that position?
They've had, and last week going into that game, that was by far Luke Farrell in particular and Rashad. Rashad's had a great week this week. They're continuing to come along. And, again, that game got tight. Marcus has played the most. We got out of rhythm, didn't extend some possessions. We did some things with 10 personnel that gave Marcus – he had the same number of snaps. He had 16 more snaps in this game than the game for the tight end. Played the same number of snaps. I think it was 49 one game, 48 the next game. So the play was the same. Marcus had a little bit more on its more load on his plate. This week I'd anticipate Rashad and Luke to I think they're a little bit ahead of Jake right now, and I need to get those guys on the field.
Is that a position that you would like to use more? It just seems like it'd be such a weapon for you, and especially in the perimeter run game blocking. I don't know how you would assess how that's been so far, but I know you've used the tight end in that role in the past.
Well, again, like Rashad didn't come over until, you know, we missed the bulk of summer, all of spring, so he's still kind of a work in progress, very talented. I think Luke is coming on, getting stronger, getting young kid, redshirt freshman. Both those guys are going to be fine. Marcus missed a lot of time, missed all spring ball with the injury, no practices. The foot injury shut him down for about 6 weeks of summer. He was very ginger through preseason practice, didn't get a lot of work, so, you know, he's the guy that knows what to do, that hasn't set up to be as strong or as in condition or as fundamentally clean as we want him to be. Those young players are getting there, and I always, again, not because I coach, if that tight end position plays well, it really helps the quarterback and our offense, and we need to keep it coming.
Far right over here, Ben. Hi, Kevin. Ben Buchanan, ABC6. You guys have had as many as 6 in the rotation at wide receiver the last couple games. Are you comfortable with that many guys rotating, or would you like to see 2 or 3 more permanent solidified guys in there?
I think the way we play with again, if we can execute and stay on the field, you need 2 to 3 tailbacks. I think you need pushing really 7 or 8 receivers, because I just think they get gas, running around, you know, flipping sides, down the field, perimeter blocking. Same with the tight ends. We need to get 2 or 3 going. So I think at every skill position offensively, you got to be about 2.5 deep. And to me, 6 is actually a number. I wish we were playing 7 or 8.
And what do you guys in particular have to do to beat? If you look at the last game, you're able to move the ball, but you get in the red zone. Sean was able to kick some field goals. What do you do, X's and O's wise, attitude wise, to get the ball in the end zone, try to get 6? Talking about red zone.
Well, and let's go back to those receivers too, real quick. It's one thing to play 6, 7, 8, but you need guys you can count on and execute, and that's what we got to get to. And that follows into answering this question. I think I've called a couple plays and a couple of drives that got us off schedule behind chains. And 3rd and 8 and 3rd and 9 happened too quick. It did in the first game 2 times. It did last week a couple times. And to me, I got to look at, again, we anticipated some looks we didn't get, weren't clean plays, put our guys in bad situations. We got behind chains. 3rd and 8 on the 8, those field zones get compressed, the windows get tight, and I put us in bad situations. We'll work hard to eliminate and do that better. We need to. It's a tough deal.
Back row middle, Steve?
Yeah, Coach, I was going to ask about the red zone. You kind of brought that up just there. It seemed when you guys were down there, Dobbins punched one in the one time, but you didn't, maybe you threw it in the end zone to KJ Hill one time, but on the whole didn't seem to be throwing it as often down in that area. I know, as you said, the windows get compacted down there, but what can you do maybe to vary things up or to get the ball into the end zone instead of settling for those field goals?
Well, yeah, I think in the first 2 games, in general, anticipating what we were going to get, we didn't get some looks as good and put our quarterback or run game in bad positions. It got to 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, 3 times. It was just bad. So, again, it's play calling, it's guessing, and with not a lot of tape and whatever, just, like I say, the anticipation of what you're doing, being sound in what you're doing. That's why I go, like I said, immediately after the game, I think I got to do a better job through practice organization and through game calling to put our kids in better places, and I didn't do it I was awful Saturday.
And last couple questions, front row left, Doug.
Kevin, I know you already talked about it. Most offenses strive for balance. But can you be great really leaning on one side of it? If you guys just pounded the run, could this be a great team? There was a sequence there where I think you guys handed to JK 3 straight plays and he got 9, 13, 16 or something. I know that was just one sequence, but could you just run, and be great, or would that not work?
To me, that there's time and place for that. But if you're going to be an elite team and to play at the level we need to play with, we have to execute both high end, and we have to find ways to do that. Because they can stop one, and it's like playing basketball. If you make me go to my left hand, I got to have a good left hand. And so if you're saying we're going to run, and there's times you got to do that, and you need to do that. But when it's committed to stop the run, there's things they're giving you. There's play actions. There's move the pockets. There's things you got to take advantage of it. And that's where, again, I think early I've not done a good job helping our offense get going, taking advantage of what's there.
And just a simple question. Were guys open Saturday?
I don't think so, and not because they can't run routes and all that. I just think, again, in play calling and getting the rhythm and getting the play action going off the run and the move the pockets, the shots. Again, we were an offense that was disjointed Saturday, and that's as much with the rhythm of the game and play calling than a kick can separate from a route or run a route. We got tremendous athletes and great route runners. JT can throw the football. It's me getting us in the rhythm of playing offense the way we need to play.
And final questions, front row right. Tim?
Tim May, Columbus Dispatch. Kevin, last year this team set a school record for total offense in this opener. Beat 2 teams in a row, 62-3, but against the better defenses, the passing game, except for pretty much throws to Curtis Samuel, sort of disappeared with pretty much the same receiver group you've got now. Do you see the potential in this group down the road of stepping up?
I have in preseason, and I have in the practice format. But again, with what we've seen and the rhythm of play calling, I haven't given those guys a chance. So we'll see as we move forward. I'm confident in our guys. I'm confident in our Q. I'm confident in what we've done in the past, that we'll put it together, but it's going to be our job. We've had a good week of practice. We're moving in the right direction, and we'll see if we can keep the train on track and work as a complete unit and get that run, get that pass going. And like I say, when we get playing it with 11 guys together and get clicking, those guys will be open. The QB will make his plays, the run game will work, and we'll look like good offense. We'll see how close we can get this week to getting that thing back to being elite like we need to be and we should be.
And with the 2 running backs, we were asking about this last week, but with Mike Weber coming back now, and I would think every week he might get stronger, but do you sense using both of those guys almost equally as it runs down the road, or do you always end up, would you prefer one back over the other
You understand what I mean? Meaning
Yeah,
a
I'm
lead
not,
guy.
yeah, and you know, Coach Alfred won, and Coach Meyer will do a great job of personnel and the guys. I've never been, it's got to be 50-50. You go with a hot guy. You go with the guy, if a guy needs a blow, a guy needs a blow. Some guys will say, why don't you put them both on the field at the same time? You know, when we put both those H's on the field with KJ and Paris, well, then all of a sudden after 5 or 6 plays, and they're both tired, now you're down to your third or fourth guy. And so sometimes you put both those tailbacks on the field, and you're like, well, that's really great. Well, 5 plays into play, 6 plays in the drive, you're going to tailback 3 if they both need a blow. So we'll work personnel, we'll work to get guys on the field, and I think they're both have a chance to be high-end Big Ten backs, and we'll see how the year plays out with numbers.
Let me ask one more. When you watch Trevon Grimes, you know, a novice like me watching him in high school video and stuff, he was a big over-the-top receiver, could make big plays and stuff like that. Jalen Harris, same way. I'm just wondering, how close are those guys to possibly getting some time in the rotation?
You know, we're pushing and fighting them hard, and the other guy, Elijah Gardner, same deal. They're both big, tall guys, and they've made some plays. But as young players, Trayvon's coming off a knee injury, missed the bulk of last year, missed a lot of spring training. So it's really just getting him confident and strong and being consistent. So they show flashes, and they're going to be really, really, really good. And it'd be nice to be really, really good, really, really soon. But they're kind of inconsistent right now. And that being said, you know, earning the trust and confidence to get on the field. You'll see flashes, and they've made plays. They've made them all camp, but it's a little hot, a little cold. We need them to flip it on. They've had good weeks of practice.
One real quickie, though. Y'all have had 2 chances at home run balls in the first 2 games, and 2 of your leading receivers couldn't come up with them. You know, Paris and then Terry McLaurin on Saturday. That game, who knows what that play might have done for the game. But how many more, I don't know, how many more shots do guys like that get, I guess?
Well,
And I'm not casting aspersions.
yeah, I mean,
I'm just
you know,
asking what you think.
to me, as long as, one, we need to do it more. And you don't want to get behind chains, but we got it. To me, we've got to pound the run that we've talked about a second ago. You got to get the ball horizontally and vertically with your passing game. And to me, I'm not doing it enough right yet. And whether the guy catches it or not, as long as the quarterback keeps put in proximity, he will. And you're not going to get down the guy. We've seen him practice a bunch. We're going to keep at it, and we'll work. And it's not going to be bombs away, but we got to use our players and attack the 53 and a third and the depth of the field as we play offense.
Coach, thank you very much.